There is a, like we all agree, that the global order is shifting. It's a major shift that is taking place. And I'll tell you why. 2009, William Stopforth had done a study, and he had published the book also, of the changing center of gravity of the world economic trade. And he started with the ancient India and the Indian Ocean. Forget all this West propaganda that China was in the top two. China was crap. It was never in top two. Pardon my saying so. Top was India, and you controlled more than a third at conservative estimate of the world trade. Clothing, all types of cloth, all types of spices, all types of jewels, and you were the lead in uh, metallurgy.
Hmm.
The term which they use, Damascus sword, which is where you put different types and
Holding.
layered ones. India, India, everything is Indian. They have taken it during the supposedly the golden age of Islam, took all this technology, based it from there, and then the West used it and thought that it is all theirs. No, everything is from here. Even when the Britishers came here, despite their industrial revolution, you still controlled almost 20% of the world trade. By the time they left you with just 2% of the world GDP. That was the decline that they gave you. Okay. Now, from there, it had shifted to the Atlantic. The Industrial Revolution took place in Europe. From the Atlantic, that is I would rather say the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic, because they had their colonies here. The colonies were captive market and resource. India, Africa, these were all colonies from where the resource was there and they had a captive market. Then comes the rise of America, and it became the literally the Atlantic, the Europe and America. Then comes the rise of the Asian tigers and the gradual shift into the Pacific. Pacific, they were still okay with it because they felt it is Atlanto-Pacific. So even if when they coined Asia Pacific, it was basically the far east of Asia and the ASEAN countries, some of
Hmm.
them, of course, 96, they had sorted them out quite well by raiding the stock market. And then now it has come back to India. Now it is coming back to India. Now that is what they can't digest. Because when it comes back to India, they know the Indian brain. There are a lot of material that they had stolen from here, which are there in Germany and UK. And I'm sure US would also realize that once you rise, you really become very powerful. After all, when they look at themselves, the Americans, is the brain which is running most of their institutions, companies? Indian, Indian brains, which is helping them. So you find similar type of strikes what was being done in the 90s to sort out those Asian tigers. But then they miscalculated the trading brain and the economic brain and the technological brain of India. So as we go along, I'll keep relating to those and tell you how it matches with what was done earlier and what they are trying now. They can't fight. You see, the ancient Thucydides trap, which was there, that when you have a rising power, you fight. So that was based on 4th, 5th century BC. You had the Greek nation states which were rising, and essentially 400 odd BC, it is talking of the rise of Sparta, and Athens was there, and so they fought each other to become powerful. Now, those were days you carry on forward till the First World War and Second World War. Interdependence was not that much. You had empires, you were self sufficient. Today, you have global interdependence. It becomes very costly
Globalization.
to go to war. So you try what? You try to hit it through narratives and through some economic targeting of your big figures. Try to hit your market, try to hit your leading businessmen to see to stall your growth. You coming up because you are they fear that you will take over the trade.